Good afternoon, gents. It is the first Wednesday of the month, and at my group every Wednesday, not every Wednesday, every first Wednesday of the month, we have what we call an integrity check-in. Integrity is that important that it gets its own static day at the beginning of every month, so that if we've had 30 days to get off track, we can course correct. Now, I don't recommend just doing this once every 30 days. In fact, I do a version of this before I go to bed every night. But I get a lot of questions about what does it mean to be in integrity? How do you define integrity? And so I want to unpack that, and I'm going to dive into some examples here so that you can understand the gravity that this has on your life. If you're not within integrity with yourself, then you're not going to be in integrity with anybody else out there in the world, any organizations. It's just not possible. You might think you can. You might even be a little good at faking it. But I don't believe that we get away with anything. I believe everything we do has a consequence. The way I define integrity is with my thoughts, my actions, my words, and my deeds. Thoughts, actions, words, and deeds. When they're all in alignment with each other. And throughout the course of the day, you've got life coming at you. Throughout the course of the week, throughout the course of the month, you've got things coming at you. And they can have you pull yourself out of integrity with yourself if you're not clear at your core on who you are and what you are. And so it's that important. So let's scroll back to the year 2017, when I was not quite the man that I am today, when I didn't quite have these practices in my life as firmly as they needed to be. And I got involved in some pretty shady business stuff that I'm not proud of this story, but it's the reality of where I was at that point in my life. And the job I was working, the founder, the owner, he's a bit of what you might call a tyrant. Think of like Steve Jobs kind of deal. You know, throwing phones around the office, yelling, screaming, all of that stuff. An utterly terrifying, toxic environment to work in that I should have just exited. I didn't have the balls to exit, and I didn't have the balls to actually have a real conversation at first. And I ended up getting involved with a couple guys who were going to start their own company. And they were going to start their own company by poaching clients from this employer and then by poaching employees. And I was the last person that they had asked to join their team because they knew I was not thrilled with the environment. They knew I was not thrilled with the low pay and a number of other things that were going on. And so I said, sure, sign me up. Like, let's rock. And as I got involved with this group, I could start to feel this is out of alignment as who I am as a person. This is just not who I want to be. Never mind how sloppy they were with doing this and how vocal they were. And it was quite obvious they were going to be found out. And then it became quite obvious that the founder of the company already knew what was going on. He just didn't have enough evidence yet to pin them on it. And after a couple months of being involved in this plan, it was getting closer and closer to essentially when the ball was going to drop and it was going to get kicked off and clients were going to start moving from one company to the other. And employees were then going to transition over. And I remember one day the founder of the company, he came to me. He wanted me to give this pretty expensive gift to one of our biggest clients at the time. They were kind of like a VIP gold tier, really impactful client. And I knew what the strategy was, and this was going to be the first client that we poached. And I knew exactly what day they were leaving on. And it was going to be a pretty big hit to the bottom line of the company they were leaving, to my current employer. And I remember standing there in the parking lot, and it was this fishing pole, $6,000 fishing pole he wanted me to go gift to the owner of the company. And I just stopped right there, and I was like, I told myself, I was like, I can't go through with this anymore. Like, this is so far from the man that I want to be. I can't do this. And I'm standing there holding this fishing pole, and I got the founder of the company standing across from me, and his name was Brad. I said, Brad, like, if you still want me, I need to tell you something. And if you still want me to deliver this fishing pole afterwards, I'll go do it. If you need to fire me, sue me, whatever afterwards, then I'm down for that too. Like, whatever, I'm here. I just can't live this way anymore. He's got this startled look on his face like, why would I fire you? Why would I take any of these actions? He's a little confused. And so I share what I knew, my level of involvement and what's been going on. And at that point, I felt a lot of relief inside. I was back with an integrity with myself. I still didn't know what consequences were coming. I didn't know if I was going to be sued into oblivion. I didn't know if I could go to jail for some shit like this. I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought for sure I would lose my only source of income at the time. And what ended up happening from that is nothing short of miraculous. But I'm using this, I'm not telling you to go do this by any stretch of the imagination, but I am sharing this with you so that you can understand the gravity that being with an integrity with yourself and those around you has on you in your world. I left that conversation with a $10,000 a year raise because the man was so appreciative of me being willing to own up to what I had been involved in. For me having the balls to just come clean and get myself back in integrity. About a week later, I'm pulling into my driveway and my cell phone rings, and it's the founder of the company. And I'm like, shit, he changed his mind. Now I'm fired, I have no job, probably going to get sued into oblivion, have no clue what to do. And he said, Aaron, I just wanted to thank you again for being willing to do what you did. I don't know how to communicate how much that meant to me and the impact that has on me to know that you were willing to do that. And I just wanted to say thank you again. Know that I got your back. I got your family's back. If you wake up one morning and you realize you can't pay rent, call me. It'll be paid. If it's 2 a.m. and your son's dying and you can't afford the treatment he needs at the hospital, call me. It'll be paid. Also, I want you to go pick out a car. And I'm like, what? He's like, not just any car. I want you to pick out something that's going to be a good fit for your family. This is going to be your new company vehicle, and this is going to be your new family vehicle. I didn't believe him. We got off the phone. He called me a week later. He asked me if I'd been shopping for a car yet. I was like, I didn't think you were serious. No, but I'll get right on it, So, the $60,000 car that you see parked in my driveway, the only thing I paid for it were the taxes to get the title put in my name. Also, for 3 years, all the gas, all the maintenance, and all the insurance was covered as well. So again, I'm not telling you to do what I did, but I share this with you not as a proud moment in my life, but as a moment so that you can understand the gravity of what having your thoughts, your actions, your words, and your deeds all in alignment actually do to your life on a daily basis. It could be something as small as you ate some donuts at midnight last night because you were just like in a low frequency state. You were struggling with some things, and instead of doing what you needed to do, you negotiated on that, and now you're out of integrity with yourself. It doesn't always have to be on that big of a scale, but I can tell you, whether it's donuts at midnight or whether it's corporate espionage, they all impact your life to some degree. They're all going to change who you are. They're all going to impact the results that you get from every action you take. I don't believe we get away with anything. So, when's the last time you've practiced being with an integrity with yourself? When's the last time you've consistently practiced checking in on that every day before you go to sleep? With that, I love you guys. Remember, you're only as good as your last practice. If you've got any questions or any topics you want me to start covering, feel free to drop them in the comments. As always, likes and shares are much appreciated. If there's another man in your life that you feel like could get some value from this, feel free to share that with them as well. If you want some more information on how you can get more involved and working with me or expedite the results that you're getting from some of these practices, you want to go faster, you want to go deeper, you're ready to go, be a link right up there. Love you guys. Look forward to practicing with you next time. Thank you for showing up for you and for the people around you.